Then she busts in and fights, everybody's at the lights. Every night we don't fight, we decide, live inside, baby shows in the escapade. Let the arcade pixelated party lesson, they unafraid. Karaoke screams, singing themes, heart and sleeves. Anime dreams, brushing seams, city gleams, dancing screams, endless streams, let's extreme Saturday gleams. So our day gleams, so it seems nothing reams. Break the channel, riot loud, crowd unbowed, techno sound, pulses pound, dream astound, youth unbound, joy profound, lost and found. Channel raver on the prowl, echoes howled.
Good morning, my friends. Hello and welcome. It's 7:40 in the morning, broadcasting from Site B. It is I, your humble guide to all tabletop role-playing game nonsense that is known affectionately as the OGGM on this, the 30th day of August 2025. It is OGG Sister's birthday all the way up there in Portlandia. So happy birthday, sis. Miss you very much. It's 65 degrees and sunny, but something's going on in the weather because I'm getting the beginnings of a headache. So make up your mind whether, when we talk about the soapboxes, I will not get off. My chosen battles on my teeny little island, my hatred for weather will probably be in the top 5. Like, is there anything I hate more than weather? Maybe ants. I hate ants. And uncles too. No, the other kind of ants, the insects. What is it? What are we doing? Why are we here? I don't know. Why is anybody here? What's the meaning of life? 42. We're here because it's Saturday. On Saturday, we like to do nice things. Especially as it was another awful toxic week in the tabletop role-playing game community. I stumbled across multiple tabletop role-playing game feuds. Carrion Eater is at it again with a week-long tirade over a fellow tabletop role-playing gamer. So as we do every Saturday, it's time to brush aside all the negativity and do something positive. Spread a little kindness. Shout out a few YouTubers out there who maybe aren't getting enough attention. Maybe, need a little help, little hi, little shout out, little, hey, don't worry about it. I think you're doing okay. So every week, thanks to our number one employee, Jeff's Games Box, we dig up 4 or 5 YouTubers who we think could use a little love. And this week, it's no question, we have some more. So let's spread some positivity as we've been doing. It's 84th week in a row that I have done this. 84 of these. It feels like it's more. But 84 Saturdays that I have said, hi, let's be friends. Tell me something nice about your channel. I want you to get more subs. Even if you've got 2,000, 3,000, 8,000, a million subscribers, how can I help spread the word of your channel and do something nice for you? And hypocritically, if you'd like to come over and subscribe to my channel, I wouldn't say no, right? All right. Enough meandering through the remnants of my brain. Let's take a look at our first YouTuber, and it's Crispy's. There's a lot of persons who use the name Crispy in the role-playing game community, so it's hard to keep track of when this is, but this is Crispy. It's this gentleman right here. And he has 5.96K subscribers and has made 40 videos. So Crispy, I don't think really needs my help. But sure, we'll give him a subscribe. He does D&D advice and D&D shoutouts and D&D horror stories. So he finds stories of things that have gone horribly wrong in a tabletop role-playing game and then talks about it. Toxic players, toxic DMs, toxic YouTubers. He shouted out a few of the toxic YouTubers. So he's sort of the antithesis of what I do. But he also does find some really good news. But look, he's got 5.96K subscribers, and he's only made 40 videos on this channel. He has a couple other channels. So yeah, here his talking about comparing different things, offering advice, reviewing games, and he always has like a little character, and a little comedy and a little pointing out, and he has a whole little thing that he sets up everything to be built around each story. Talks with his eyes closed like I do. Interesting. Because you don't see my face. You guys don't know this, but sometimes when I'm talking, my eyes are closed. And I don't know why. It's an unconscious twitch, like me playing with my hands all the time. I assume it's my brain trying to focus on a subject. I find that I can stay much more linear when I'm talking with my eyes closed. I just have to be careful I don't doze off, because that's happened a few times. I don't know if you've noticed it. So it's nice to know I'm not the only one who, when he gets off on a long term, talks about things with their eyes closed. So yeah, just pointing out stories, offering advice, helping people out, doing nice things. His topics are always well researched. He's got a really good speaking voice. He knows what he's talking about. And yeah, sure, when I try and do nice things, he tries to point out things that maybe weren't so nice, but he doesn't do it in a condescending, insulting kind of way. He doesn't get up there and make his little video where he talks about, oh, this fucking blah 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 did this, and this. No, it's much more like cautionary tales, much more like, hey, let me educate you on this thing that happened. So that's Crispy. Yeah. You're going to hear it to Sherm. Oh, Crispy said this about me. So you got to feel like there's like 5 different people who use the name Crispy. So I assume it's a nickname or something to do with maybe he's really crispy. He's really, sharp. And I don't know. What does crispy mean? Tough and sharp and crinkly and, yeah. Don't really know the origins of that word. Like, ooh, this fried chicken is very crispy, but what does that mean? What does crispy mean? It has a little crunch to it, I guess. Chips are crispy. Definitely, well, when you don't often think about things like that. I find that I do. I find that I ask myself, well, where did that word come from a lot? Or why are we eating artichokes? Like, who was the first person in our history to go, I'm going to eat this plant? I don't know why. I mean, it's got these spikes on it, and it doesn't look very tasty, but I'm going to eat it. Who was that guy? These are the questions that ponder my brain, but I'm probably the only one. So, Crispy, how did you get your name? How did you get started? Give us a shout out. Reach out to us. Talk to us about us. Why are you crispy and say not soggy or crunchy or something like that for using food words? Would my food word be, if I was a food-themed YouTuber in my name, would I be like baked? Because I'm not that stoned every day. Deep fried? Would it be deep fried? Would it be squishy? Soupy. Soupy be my food name? I don't know. What would your food YouTuber name be if you used a food like Crispy? Moving on, we've got the Editorial. I hope I'm saying that right. Editorial DM. Editorial DM has 314 subscribers and videos, so this is the kind of person that does need our help. Let's shout this guy out, because he knows what he's talking about, and he's been around for a long time, and he's been playing and talking about it, and he loves Shadowdark, and us Shadowdark guys got to stick together. Let's read this thing. Hi. Mike, I'm Mike, and I have been playing RPG and war games since 1978, so almost as long as me, if not long. Yep, probably as long as me. However, for DM, he writes the Editorial zine plus settings and adventures for Shadowdark. He also plays Dungeons and Dragons 5e, but prefers OSR systems, solo dark gamer, avid fantasy and history reader. My God, he is me. Rooted for France in the 100 Years' War, Waterloo, and Dien Bien Phu. He's got a BA, MA in history, avid reader, and Houston, Texas. So he lives in Houston, Texas, or he's an avid reader about Houston, Texas, or he's an avid reader about how the French helped shape Houston, Texas. I'm going to guess that he lives in Houston, Texas. And then he's talking about, here's my magazines. Here's what I talked about in magazine number 1. And here's what I talk about in magazine number 2. And here's where you can buy the magazines on drive-thru. So yeah, thanks for making your magazines and giving some love to Shadowdark. And hey, I mean, look at this guy. He's me. He writes a zine. I write a zine. He plays Shadowdark. I play Shadowdark. He likes 5e but prefers OSR. Yeah. He lives in Houston. I live in not Houston. But other than that, yeah. And here is he doing Shadowdark. And here he's doing Hell March, which is the mass battle rules for Shadowdark. And here's he's doing how to play NPCs in Shadowdark. as opposed to how to play NPCs in other games. I think the question, here's him with Blackwell. I did an interview with DM Blackwell. I don't think DM Blackwell liked me. Maybe he did. I don't know. More Shadowdark. Oh, legend. Talking about Legends of the Flame Princess. Shadowdark. Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Shadowdark. A lot of talk about Shadowdark. A lot of talk about different magazines and stuff that have been made for Shadowdark. Looking on your different character sheets and different mods, and just fell in love with Shadowdark and decided to dedicate his channel to Shadowdark. And the last 57 videos seem to be mostly built around Shadowdark and Shadowdark adjacent type stuff. Anybody know the name of this art style that they've chosen to embrace for Shadowdark? The black on other color or black on white. It's just black, spotted color, or black, and then a picture. I hate this art style. I don't know why, other than I just feel so bad at the thought of buying this PDF and then like wanting to print out a page and just looking at how much black ink it's going to go through. Does this art style have a name? Is it like retro gothic or something like that? Anybody know? Please let me know. Anyways, hey man, you're right. Thanks for shouting out Shadowdark and telling us about your world and your game and your love for this game that I also love. If you ever get a chance to give us a shout out, we'd appreciate it. Let us know about your history, how you got involved, why you love Shadowdark so much. Let's give him a like, share, and surprise. Let's get him up to 500 subs. We can do it, Yeah. Greetings from Houston. Okay. Moving on. We've got TN Tori. TN Tori has a 1.6 subscribers. They've made 179 videos. It says we game, we stitch, we laugh. It's fine. It's a TN Tori time. Okay, so TN Tori is a stick figure. And this stick figure talks about daggerheart, player proficiency versus, character proficiencies. That's always a interesting one. Talking about a journal that they picked up. Talking with herself about DC 20 and Daggerheart, some tutorials, some experimenting with DC 20. So they do a lot of the new big popular systems, it looks like. Here's me talking about DC 20. Here's me talking about DC 20. Here's me talking about stitching. And they've chosen this black and white stick figure style. So, if you're one of those people who thinks, I can't draw, and I can't draw, so I can't do art for my game. This person seems to be doing just fine with stick figures, and they've got 1.06K, 1.07K subs using just a stick figure. So thanks for sharing your art style with us. Thanks for sharing your game with us. Thanks for sharing your love for Daggerheart and DC 20 with us and shouting out other systems that other people might know. And Minecraft? What are you doing talking about Minecraft? I love Minecraft. All these years, I'm still playing Minecraft. So here it looks like we were doing some video game playthroughs for a bit. And before we went back to D&D type talk. Not sure why, but I guess I wanted people to watch them, do video games, and it worked. But it didn't work. They did a video game, 42 views. Went back to doing the other stuff, 160 views. So yeah, it looks like this person's big thing is talking about games, and that's what their audience wants to see. And they're doing some pretty good work. I mean, they've got this animation, and they've worked everything out with this black on white little character that they do. And do they edit? I don't know, man. I mean, there's obviously a lot of work involved in even doing something simple like this. So yeah, it's always nice seeing people who are way more skilled at their editing kung fu than I am, because it inspires me to learn another thing. Like, I want to know how you did this. Did you just make individual frames and then splice them together in editing and then read the script So I'm curious. I'm curious to know how you made this little thing. So please, if you're listening to the sound of our voice, give us a shout out. Let us know how you made your wonderful little cartoons. They're very, very cute, and we really appreciate them. So thank you, T and Tori, for being a wonderful stick figure. We think you're awesome. I don't know why I'm speaking in the third person today, but sure. And last, we have got Minava Tabletop Design Company. We craft Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing products, templates, worksheets, stories, more for your campaign or games. Tabletop role-playing games are our passion. They have a website. They have an Etsy. They have a campaign. They have made 225 videos. They've got 225 subscribers. They've made 233 videos. Bam! And they make stuff. And let's see, what do they make? Here's them talking about a character that they made. So it's a folder with character sheets in it. And they made this a year ago. And here's them with a notebook that I guess they made because you know how much I love those. And here's them explaining how to write notes in a journal. I have a feeling this one's going to spiral down really quickly. But, I've got to learn to stop being so negative about this. I mean, I think the idea of a D&D notebook that you spent $50, $100 on is a waste of your money, guys. I think we know that is something that I have chosen to be one of my little battles. But look, if that's something, she looks like, what's her name? Emma from... if that's what floats your boat, making these and getting them and lovingly putting all this time and information into a folder, notebook, whatever, and, going back and looking at this notebook years later and going, yeah, I remember that time. I mean, there's definitely notes from previous games I'd played in that I don't have anymore that I wish I did. There's a ton of art that was made for me that vanished or got burnt up in the 2018 Thompson fire. So, I'd say 90% of me thinks, yeah, it's a dumb idea. I can go back to school sales right now and get 20 of these for the same price you might charge for one of the super special. On the other hand, it's your passion and you're bringing creativity. And obviously these things mean something to people. And I can't fault that, right? I can't, continue to say, oh, you're stupid if you spent $50 on a D&D folder, because it shows love, it shows passion, it shows creativity, and it shows the level of investment you have in the game. So yeah, love it. Don't listen to me. I'm a grump. I'm the old school. I'm fading away. Not gonna be here much longer. So yeah, if this is your thing and you love that and you love the creativity and you feel you need a folder, notebook, whatever for your character, go for it. Support these guys. They look like they're awesome. I support your creativity, even if I think it's stupid. Yeah, go for it. And they make little potion bottles and dice, and that's their job. That's their love. That's what they've chosen to do. And I can't fault them, because I'm sure there's people who look at the stuff I do and go, you're stupid. You should see some of the negative comments I've gotten about, my Weird West game, because people think it's too whimsical. And I don't really I don't get the genre or whatever, and all my stuff's very whimsical and not dark. So, I've got haters too. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's saying the same thing on videos about me. In fact, I know there's somebody out there who says some pretty horrible things about me videos. So what I have to say means nothing, guys. If this is what you love, buy hundreds of these. Let's support these guys, yeah. And if Minava Tabletop Design Company, if you're in the sound of my voice and want to talk about your creativity and your projects and how you got into this, I'd love to talk to you. And the last time they published was a year ago. So guys, hopefully you're okay. Hopefully there is a reason why you've taken a year off. Maybe you just have a new channel and you're not supporting this channel anymore. Maybe you had a baby. Maybe you move to a different channel. I don't know. I always like to think when I see people who haven't posted for a while that it's because of a positive thing, not a negative thing. I would much rather hear that the reason why they're not posting anymore is because they had a baby or because they moved to a different channel or whatever. Then, oh, they don't post anymore because some horrible, awful thing happened and they can't. So I'm hoping that there is a good reason why you haven't posted in a year and you are fine, you are well, you are doing something amazing with your lives. And yeah, continue to make this product, continue to support yourselves, continue to help the industry. Doesn't matter if I don't think it's, what I think, like I said, you love it. You're happy about it. I can see the passion in your eyes and body language, and that's what's important. So keep making this awesome stuff. Thank you very much. Blam! And that's it, except, of course, should warn you about this one. It's a little teeny spicy, maybe. Some people might consider it. So if you don't like looking at the titolinis, yeah. Because today we're talking about our VTuber of the week. And as you know, since the VSojo disaster happened, I have been trying to shout out each of the VSojo members who are now have gone off on their separate ways and are doing things. We got to shout out Mouse, we shouted out Mel, we shouted out Zen, we shouted out Henya because Henya's our, we love Henya, got to protect Henya. We shouted out Mataracon, who is, on my list of YouTubers I'd like to actually meet in real life. She's definitely up there because she just seems like such an awesome person. Today we're shouting out Kyson. Now, if you're familiar with Kyson, you might get the wrong impression of her because she's a little goofy and she does a lot of fan service, and you might know from her work and voiceovers on video games. And the character might look familiar because she's done a lot of video game stuff, a lot of voiceover stuff. She was an established individual before she started VTubing, an established individual in the community before she became a member of VSojo. She was one of the earliest members of VSojo, and she has been one of the most proactive in finding out exactly what happened with VSojo and calling the members of VSojo to task and keeping the group together and reaching out to lawyers and harassing the guys over at VSojo and wanting to know where's our money. We'll just focus on the fan service for the boys out there for a sec. Little fan service. Thank you, Kyson, for not taking yourself so seriously that you can't show little titolinis. She plays a character in the Yakuza anime video game series. She's got like a whole scene, several scenes in the latest Yakuza video game series. If you're familiar with that video game series, you might recognize her. She's done a little acting. She has her fingers in a lot of different cans of soup. So yeah, she's awesome, and she's smart, and she's funny, and she knows how to do her job very well. And and you might get she's just a tuber. She just shows her booblies, and that's why she's popular. And she does do a little fan service every now and then, but there's always a subplot. There's always something important she's trying to talk about or bring attention to when even if she's doing a slice of life of her and her friend going to a sauna. So don't let the goofy voice and the goofy cartoon and stuff fool you, because again, she's the one who, when the VSojo thing happened, went pretty much to their door and got somebody from VSojo and pinned them down and interviewed them and asked all the questions. And she's constantly working behind the scenes to find out what's going on, to find out where the money is, to find out how the other girls can get stuff back. So Kyson is a little ball of energy, and I doubt this will ever happen. But Kyson, if you're within the sound of my voice, I would love to talk to you sometime to talk about gaming and VTubing and how you got started and just what an awesome person you are. So let's spread some kindness and shout out Kyson today for being awesome and, titolinis, if that's your thing. All right, that's it. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to listen to me blab about tabletop role-playing games and tabletop role-playing game channels. So thank you to each and every one of the awesome individuals we shouted out today for taking time and effort to make these. Hopefully I bring some attention to you. If you get one new sub because of me doing this, I feel great. If I get one new sub out of this and somebody says, hey, thanks for doing this, OGGM, we really appreciate you, I feel great. And yes, as I've said 84 times before, obviously there's part of me that wants this to be a way to grow my channel. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But 90% of me is like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't subscribe back. I don't care if none of these people ever respond. That wasn't the reason why I chose to do this. 84 issues ago when I first said I was going to do this, up to today, it was because I just see so much negativity and anger and hate and pointless little ego battles between that VTuber and that YouTuber and that person and that person and that person. And sure, the interweb, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Reddit are ugly places. Filled with idiots who have nothing better to do with their time than waddle around like a walrus talking about how other people are not as good as her. Old school. And I'm guilty of that too occasionally. I definitely get my feathers ruffled. So this was an experiment to reach out, to talk to people, to make some new friends. And if I've brought your channel even one view, one visit, one anything, I've done my job. And I can sail off into the sunset knowing I have done my job. Now it's time for me to be shouting out myself. So if you appreciate this content, let me know. If you don't appreciate this content, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please take a moment to subscribe, like, share. If you want to support the OGGM adventures, the best ways you can do it are to use my Ko-Fi link and buy me, as they say. If you want something more tangible for supporting me, you can always use my Only Crits coupon down below to get yourself a set of the only dice in the tabletop role-playing game community, tested and approved by Steve the Cat. And obviously the best way to support the OGGM adventures is to pick up one of my 2 Shadowdark supplements. We've got Superheroes for Shadowdark version 1, and we've got Weird West for Shadowdark version 1, which I'm in the process of rewriting both. But so, yeah, and they're both on sale for $6. So it's a great time to check out the stuff that I've created so far and get on the, the bottom floor of the first round of playtesting the stuff that I'm rewriting. Thank you, Kelsey, for creating Shadowdark and allowing us to play in your sandbox. Thank you, as always, to Jeff Gamesbox. This adventure experiment would not exist without Jeff's Gamesbox. So please, if you don't take a moment to subscribe to me, and if you don't want to take a moment to subscribe to any of the people I just shouted out, please head on over to Jeff's Gamesbox and give this man a sub. He works so hard for me, and I do nothing for him in return except be internally grateful. So shout him out. Yes. All right. That's enough blabbering. I'm going to let you go. It looks like it's going to turn into a nice Saturday, and it's hard to believe, but tomorrow, the day after tomorrow is fall. It's September. What happened to summer? I feel sad. This will cheer me up.
Electric beats, bustin' streets, endless streets, midnight beats, living heat, hearts beat fleet, polyphonic needs, cyber beats, rhythm sweet, Saturday schemes, beat retreats, makes us complete. Blazing trails, no fails, neon veils, waves of gales, color tales, joy sails, endless rails, like a veil, Saturday sail, we hail breaking jails. Break the tail, riot loud, crowd unbowed, techno sound, pulses pound, dream astound, youth unbound, joy profound.